All right. Good evening, everyone. Myself, Rohit, I'm the founder of Codju Technologies. I welcome you all to today's workshop on demystifying computational thinking. As we all know that a couple of days back, CBSE put a notice and basically asked us to have a new curriculum from grade 3 to grade 8 in computational thinking and AI. Since then, I have interacted with many school teachers and principals and school leaders, and almost everyone asked me one thing, that how can we start computational thinking from this session, because CBSE has mandated it. Some of them also asked me what exactly computational thinking means. So in today's session, we will dive deeper into why do we need it, what exactly is computational thinking, and how can we implement computational thinking in our school. So let's start. So before I start, let me define it as per the CBSE definition or as per the normal definition. Computational thinking is nothing, but it's a way of solving problems by breaking them down into smaller steps, by spotting some patterns, by focusing on what matters, and then finding step-by-step solution. Basically, it's something which we do already. For example, let's say if I have to order something on Zepto or Blinkit, what am I going to do? First of all, I will think about what all I need. Then I will open the app and go to those items, will select which item is the correct brand which I require. Then I will select them, order them, pay the money. When the order arrives, I will pick it. All the steps are, normally we do it more than once every single day. So there are many other things also which we do every single day, but we do not term doing those things as computational thinking. So basically what CBSE is doing is to label and make sure that all of us as teachers teach this very important skill which is needed in today's and tomorrow's kids. I'll share one very good example, a personal example from my college days. I was placed in one of I was placed in world's biggest oil field drilling company. This company was having a fleet of more than 100 oil rigs, as you can see on the picture. They came for the placement interview, campus placements in December 2007 when I was in IIT fourth year. And uh, the interviewer asked me many different questions. But one question which particularly struck me on that day and it made me to think out of the box was the question that he asked me, what is the total number of professional swimming pools in Rajasthan? First, he asked me, where do you belong from? I told that I am from Rajasthan. Then he asked me this question. Now, this is something which was not in syllabus of my engineering degree. This was actually, this is not in syllabus of anywhere. I have not written it, thought about it, but because we were talking about some certain things, out of those examples he asked me. Then when I started answering, he told me that I am not interested in the total number of swimming pools. I am interested in how do you reach to the number of swimming pools. So he told me that whatever you are thinking, you have to think aloud. Whatever you are thinking, you have to tell me that, okay, this is my process. These many number of swimming pools can be here, there, etc., etc. So he was basically checking how do I solve the problem rather than just waiting for the right answer, because the right answer neither he knew nor I knew. So this happened with me coincidentally because I was in staying in different hostels in Rajasthan, and I traveled a lot before I went to IIT. I was able to answer it pretty well, and I finally got selected. But now, when CPSC introduced this computational thinking, I can relate that why computational thinking is important. Let's move ahead. Uh, Now, all of us as teachers, I myself being a teacher for past 16 years, we are preparing students for the jobs that do not even exist yet. Suppose somebody like my son is in LKG now. By the time he goes to the workforce, 22 years, 23-year-old, like after 18, 20 years, there will be jobs which we don't even know. Right? For example, there are Uber drivers everywhere, right? Many Uber drivers, they even earn more than 50,000 rupees per month. If you go back 20 years back, who could have imagined that there will be a lot of workforce driving on bikes, driving on cars, and earning a decent outcome, right? That's just an example. There are many other examples also. So, but what do we teach the students in the school? I'm just showing you because, last week, 10th result came out, 10th class CBSE result, right? There were 24.71 lakh students appeared. And to my surprise, around 2.21 lakh students, they scored more than 90%. And out of those 2.21 lakhs, 55,000 scores more than 95%, right? I was also one of the very brilliant student in my school, and I scored around 80%, right? So what I'm trying to say is these exams, all of us teachers, we have mastered the technique to teach how to score marks, right? The students are basically answering better. The students are writing their solutions better. They are practicing more and they are scoring high. But are they really thinking? Are we preparing them for tomorrow's challenges? I have seen many students when even they score 95%. I do run a coaching institute with the name iQuest for IIT, JEE and NEET. Many students, when they come to us for preparing for JEE, even though they had very good percentage in 10th, many of them are not able to cope up in 11th. Why is that happening? This is happening because they are trained for a certain type of exam, but they are not trained for life. Now, this problem CBSE and our education ministry also started facing. And to make sure that the youth of India or the kids of India, when they go to the workforce after 10, 15 years, they should be ready for that. For the same reason, they introduced NEP. We know that AI is going to take everything. AI will be in almost every job 5 to 7 years from now. The stats are like 85 million, 8.5 crore jobs will be transformed by AI by 2030. New roles will demand new thinking skills, because coding and many other things AI is going to solve. How to code better, what to code are the skills which computer engineers will need. Globally also, countries which are ahead of us in terms of education, in terms of development, they have made computational thinking compulsory years ago. India had started thinking and is catching with them very, very fast. Now, first thing which all of us should understand is computational thinking has nothing to do with ICT or computers. Sadly, most of the school leaders and principals, when this came along with AI, they thought that computational thinking has something to do with the ICT subject. Though they started ringing our CSMs, some of them also called me and said, "Ki sir, ye कंप्यूटेशनल थिंकिंग आ रहा है, इसके बारे में आप क्या कर रहे हो? बट if you go through the document made by CBSE, you will see that CBSE has mandated that computational thinking should be in all the subjects, not only in ICT. So if you are an ICT teacher, you are not the sole responsibility holder for teaching computational thinking, right? Now, what is computational thinking? What are the pillars of computational thinking? There are basically 4 steps. That is decomposing a bigger problem into small manageable pieces. Then recognizing the pattern, find the similarity and connections. Focus on what is important and ignore what is not important. That is abstraction. And then finding step-by-step process to solve and make a clear step-by-step solution. So basically, for example, let me put in another perspective by giving you example. I will give an example of each one of them. So what I've done is I have taken examples from world leaders who are leading the country or leading products in different countries. So let's go to decomposition first. I'll tell a small story before I start this. All of us know about Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk is a very popular figure. He owns revolutionary companies, and his net worth is uh, probably bigger than the GDP of not 95, more than 90% of the countries in the world, right? He has founded many revolutionary companies. When he was starting SpaceX, the rocket company which he founded many years ago, he questioned that a rocket costs around 65 million. Then he thought that rocket is practically a cylindrical vessel, nearly empty. It has fuel in it. If it is like an empty cylinder filled with fuel, why is it costing so much? He then decomposed the complete thing, like it is made up of aerospace grade aluminum, which is not very expensive. It has titanium, copper, carbon fiber. They are also not that expensive. When we put everything together and make the rocket, so assembly and the technology behind it is expensive. And then all the countries in the world were destroying the rocket after single use. जस्ट इमेजिन दैट आप जिस कार से या एक्टिवा से या बाइक से घर से स्कूल आते हैं, लेट्स से यू डिस्ट्रॉय दैट व्हीकल आफ्टर एवरी सिंगल यूज, बिकॉज मान लीजिए उसमें वापस जाने का कोई तरीका नहीं था. Then he just think about that. He challenged this notion of destroying the rocket after every use, and he started working on it. Fortunately, he was a respected figure already. Many believed that what he is saying is correct, put money behind him, gave him many years of research, and now his rockets are used everywhere. सुनीता विलियम्स जी, जो अराउंड 7-8 महीने तक स्पेस में कैद हो गई थी, स्पेस एक्स के रॉकेट उन्हें वापस लेके आए, राइट? सो because he is a world leader, he is first generation entrepreneur who made all his success by himself. He is not like Ambani या किसी और तरीके से नहीं है जिन्हें inherit पैसे मिले हैं. Why he is able to do? Because he breaks the problem and think like first principle thinking. Why this problem is there? How can I solve it? How can I break this problem into small manageable pieces? Right? This is how we have to teach kids to decompose bigger problems into small problems. Then second thing is pattern recognition. I'll tell you another story about it through somebody else. Warren Buffett, he is considered as world's greatest pattern recognizer and world's greatest investor also. His company has invested a lot of money, and he is among top 20 richest person in the world, almost for last 10-15 years. So basically, he said that I do not predict future, I recognize pattern from the past. And his investment strategy is very easy. He basically invests in fundamentals. He sees that the company is having good fundamental, is growing consistently. If I invest in this company for a long amount of time, for 20-30 years, it is going to give me lots of fortune. For the same simple logic, that is his pattern of discipline. He bought the stock of Coca-Cola in 1988 because he recognized this pattern in that company. And he thought that people drink Coca-Cola in good times and bad times almost all the times. He also recognized the same pattern in Apple, and both the companies, whatever stocks he has purchased, are like given him great returns. So basically, if we can teach our kids to recognize pattern, to find similarity and connections, then they have to learn less and then they can do more. That is how we teachers are going to use this technique in education. Then next thing is abstraction. It is very important in our daily life. Many times our own kids, or let alone the kids, we ourselves are worried about the things which are not in our control. Right? This thinking of abstraction, focusing on what is inside our control and leaving out what is not inside in our control, is called abstraction. Focus on what matters, ignore the rest. You see, before UPI, like I am 41-year-old, before UPI, we used to how we used to transfer money. We used to do using bank accounts or the cards, or by checks also. And I remember clearly that couple of years back, the check transfer used to take more than a day, sometimes 2 days also. Now, why it was taking such a long time? Because they had to check every single thing for each given check. UPI abstracted all those things and connected the phone number or the QR code with your bank. Right? Complexity of checking all the accounts is still there, but it's not visible, it's hidden. And hiding this complexity is basically abstraction. And you will not believe that in USA, they do not have UPI. So in India, the system which we are using, UPI, PhonePe, Google Pay, Paytm, is world's best money transfer system. And they are also catching up with us. So we have to teach our kids, if you have a question, what you have to focus and what you have to ignore. If you have a problem, what are the focus area and what are the areas you don't have to worry about. And last thing is, once you have decomposed a problem, you have recognized the patterns, you have put your focus on what is important, now is how do you solve it. The fourth is algorithm. I have taken an example of Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime is basically, when we shop through Amazon, they deliver it quickly. When you buy something, they have an algorithm. It checks the inventory across all the fulfillment centers. It finds what is the closest warehouse with stock. It calculates the fastest delivery route. It also assigns a delivery partner and sends you the tracking number, and then it updates the delivery. So all of this happens very fast. Amazon Prime की जगह पे आप स्विगी का एग्जाम्पल ले सकते हो, जोमेटो का एग्जाम्पल ले सकते हो. You can see that how fast they deliver us, because they have divided the problem into small steps, and They do it repeatedly for infinite number of times in couple of years, and they become very smooth and almost 100% correct all the time. So we have to teach in whatever subjects we are teaching about these methods of problem solving, right? Let's take an example. Many of us are tea lovers, right? Let's say you are making tea, right? Or you are teaching to make tea to somebody else. Everybody has a different taste of tea. In my family also, there are 3 types of teas which people drink. My wife drinks some different type of tea. My sisters or my parents, they drink different type of tea. Every tea has a different methodology for making. Now, let's uh, let's make tea using this newfound approach, right? तो सबसे पहले we decompose the problem. In decomposing the problem, we need to have the constituents. We should have sugar, adrak, all the utensils, milk, water, right? Tea, most importantly. And अगर आपको कुछ और उसमें डालना है अदरक वगैरह, अदरक के अलावा भी वो सब, right? Then there are steps that आप पानी बॉईल करेंगे, उसके साथ चाय बॉईल करेंगे या दूध के साथ करेंगे, whatever the kind of tea you like, right? तो आपने पूरी प्रॉब्लम को डिकम्पोज किया. Then there are patterns. Suppose your mother is making the tea. They will not check the tea using spoons. They will not check the sugar using spoons. आप अदरक ऐसे एकदम तोल के नहीं डालते हैं. That is the pattern. That is the experience. जब हम बार बार बनाते हैं तो हमें पता लग जाता है कि ठीक है इतनी शुगर ही चलेगी, या आप हाथ से भी डाल देते तो भी एकदम बढ़िया चाय बनती है, राइट? पानी भी वो सीधा ही डाल देते हैं, ऐसे मेजर नहीं करते कि चाहे 1 कप हो गया 2 कप हो गया. दे हैव ए वेरी गुड सेंस ऑफ रिकॉग्नाइजिंग द पैटर्न. अब while you are making the tea, you are not bothered about the chemistry of boiling water, या फिर कैसे वो चाय काम कर रही है, कलर कैसे आ रहा है, ये सब आप फर्क नहीं पड़ता. हाँ, इन चीजों पे आप जरूर देते हैं कि स्मेल कैसे आ रही है, कलर पूरा हुआ या नहीं है. ऐसा तो नहीं है कि आपने अदरक और दूध डाला और दूध ही फट गया. थिंग्स लाइक दैट. And when you do it again and again and again, step by step, you become perfect in doing this. Now, as a student or as any person, we will be exposed to such problems every single day, right? As a teacher, we have like tens of functions every year, right? जैसे मान लीजिए आपका एनुअल डे आ रहा है. Then you decompose the complete annual day using computational thinking, but we do not name it as computational thinking. If you are a cricket captain or any sports captain, you have to analyze the opposition, you have to plan your batting order, your bowling order. ये सब करना पड़ता है. If you are a doctor, you have to break down the symptoms, you identify the disease pattern. आप देखिएगा कभी जब पूरे शहर में आई फ्लू होता है तो every house has patients of eye flu. When there is a viral in a city, every home has viral. When such patients go to the doctor, डॉक्टर कह देता है कि वायरल चल रहा है अभी, तो उनको ये पैटर्न रिकॉग्नाइज करने आते हैं. They even recognize the pattern according to the weather changes also, right? Students को तो definitely they have to have this skill which is going to be used in their job, their personal lives. If they become entrepreneur, anywhere they go, they have to have this skill. बिकॉज आपने देखा स्टार्टिंग में कि 50,000 बच्चों के 95% से ऊपर आ रहे हैं. अब उसमें कौन सा बच्चा ऐसा है जो आगे निकलेगा व्हेन ऑल ऑफ देम आर वेरी गुड एट स्टडीज. 95% जो 2.25 लाख बच्चों के सिर्फ सीबीएसई बोर्ड में, इफ दे आर गेटिंग मोर देन 90%, सीबीएसई से ज्यादा स्टेट बोर्ड में है, आईसीएसई बोर्ड में, सारे बच्चों को मिला लेंगे, वी विल हैव मोर देन 5 लाख स्टूडेंट्स स्कोरिंग मोर देन 90%, right? Now all of them are considered intelligent as per me or as per you. How are we going to make sure that a student is ready for the challenges of tomorrow? This is where computational thinking is important. Now, what CBSE has suggested is they have suggested it into phases. For grade 3 to 5, they are suggesting that the students have to first be inclined towards computational thinking curriculum. We have to introduce, as teachers, we have to introduce computational thinking through different projects, different activities. We have to tell them sequencing stories, instructions. They need to spot the pattern in numbers and shapes, and they should also learn to reason. If this happens, then this may happen, right? So this is what is included in the curriculum, which is mandated by the CBSE now, right? I'm not going deep into the curriculum now because curriculum secondary है, पहले उसके fundamentally principle हम समझ जाएं. Also, CBSE has stated that there is no need of great softwares or computers, but there is a need of asking good questions. Like you can simply ask them, plan a birthday party, so that the student should be able to understand the sequence and also can list what is important, right? You can try, like on Monday, you can try in your school also. You try by giving them some simple example and ask questions, right? So you will come to know that in your class also, in your class of 40, there will be some students who are inherently better in computational thinking, and there are many students, they are very bad in it. आपको मैं एक छोटा सा किस्सा बताता हूँ. This is what I do when I take interview for my front office in iQuest. मैं एक सिंपल क्वेश्चन पूछता हूँ और मैं आपको आंसर भी दूंगा कि उसका आंसर एक बार मुझे बहुत फनी मिला. एक क्वेश्चन में पूछता हूँ कि मान लीजिए आप एक्टिवा पे बैठे हैं एंड यू आर इन ए हाईवे, देयर इज नो स्पीड ब्रेकर, नो सिग्नल, नथिंग, और आप 60 की स्पीड से एक्टिवा चला रहे हैं कॉन्टिन्यूअसली, 60 की स्पीड पे, 60 की स्पीड फिक्स है एंड यू आर ड्राइविंग द एक्टिवा. आप 1 मिनट में कितना दूर जाएंगे? दिस इज ए क्वेश्चन जो मैं लगभग हर मेरे पास जो भी इंटरव्यू के लिए बंदा आता है उससे पूछता हूँ. तो इट्स वेरी इजी. 60 किलोमीटर पर आवर मीन्स 1 किलोमीटर पर मिनट. तो मैं 1 मिनट में कितनी दूर जाऊंगा? बहुत लोग ऐसे बोलते हैं कि सर 2 किलोमीटर चला जाऊंगा, 3 चला जाऊंगा, 500 मीटर चला जाऊंगा. कैलकुलेट नहीं करते हैं. व्हेन आई टेल देम टू कैलकुलेट, वो कहते हैं सर मेरे को ये स्पीड डिस्टेंस वाले फॉर्मूले याद नहीं है, मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगा. एक बार एक जने ने मुझे आंसर दिया कि सर मैं तो इतना तेज एक्टिवा चलाती नहीं हूँ, राइट? सो व्हाई आई एम टेलिंग यू दिस इज, though is a very simple thing, and we face such problems every single day, but sometimes we are not trained to solve the problems. उसके बाद जो नेक्स्ट फेज है, एप्लीकेशन फेज 6 to 8, उसमें CBSE is telling to join AI and computational thinking, because AI also requires computational thinking. This is how AI works. AI is artificial intelligence. तो उन्होंने इंटेलिजेंट आदमी की तरह AI को ट्रेन किया. अब किसी इंटेलिजेंट आदमी को आप बोलोगे चाय बनानी है, तो सबसे पहले वो पूछेगा कि उसके स्टेप्स क्या हैं. देन ही विल फोकस ऑन इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग्स, राइट? उसके बाद फाइनली वो स्टेप बाय स्टेप सॉल्व करेगा. दिस इज हाउ AI सॉल्व्स एवरी सिंगल प्रॉब्लम. सबसे पहले वो पूछता है कि व्हाट इज योर प्रॉब्लम, देन इट डीकंपोजेस, उसमें से काम की चीजें रखता है, फालतू चीजें हटा देता है, फिर उनको स्टेप बाय स्टेप सॉल्व करता है. सो that is the reason, if we have to succeed or our kids have to succeed in AI era, they also have to start thinking in that way. So 6 to 8 में CBSE has said that the students have to start playing with the ideas and have to start applying them. They have to understand data. They have to understand what it tells us. They have to debug the problem step by step. They have to analyze system and they can work with them. And to all the schools, I am very excited to tell you that the team Codju is making sure that we are going to bring the best curriculum in the country for not only for computational thinking, but AI also. We have already started work on it, and you will see the fruits of our work within very, very small span of weeks, right? So this is where CBSE is mandating that the kids should start learning seriously about data literacy, computational model, and AI. They have also made AICT compulsory subject in grade 10th also. So within 1-2 years, the students have to give a sixth subject compulsorily. So AI basically is not a magic. It learns from example, just like us or students. For example, Netflix, it suggests a show. तो Netflix जो है वो डेटा से, जो आप बार बार Netflix पे देखते हो, उस डेटा से पैटर्न को रिकॉग्नाइज करता है एंड देन डिसीजन लेता है. गूगल मैप भी डेटा देखता है कि कहाँ पे बहुत ज्यादा ट्रैफिक है, उससे पैटर्न निकालता है और फाइनली आपको डिसीजन देता है. All the steps, all the AI tools which we use are basically based on the concepts of computational thinking only, जो हमने सबसे पहले किया. So basically computational thinking is not a subject. It's just a tool which you can apply to all the subjects. It can be applied to maths, it can be applied to English, it can be applied to SST, it can be applied to science, languages, and in daily life also. Just that we have to start saying, start thinking, start telling the students to understand in a different way. I'll take one example. For example, in maths, geometry proofs, they follow a precise logical sequence. If you go through that sequence, you will reach to the proof, otherwise you will not. So sequences is already done in geometry. For example, in science, if you classify living things by shared characteristic, you are basically recognizing the pattern. आप ये बोलते हो कि S block के elements की क्या properties हैं, you are recognizing the patterns, right? If you talk about English, grammar rules are precise. They have repeatable logical instructions. There is an algorithm behind this, right? अगर आप एक sentence पढ़ते हो, for example, पूरा, तो you filter out some specific details और बहुत सारे details को you leave out. That is called abstraction. So all these things are already in our subjects, right? When we teach history, when we compare two historical events to find recurring causes and effects, that is called pattern recognizing. अगर आप देखेंगे किसी भी कंट्री में, जैसे बोलते हैं ना कि ये लड़ाई क्यों हुई, तो उसके पीछे का पैटर्न लगभग सेम होता है, 2-3 रीजन ही होते हैं. जैसे अभी यूएस अलग अलग कंट्रीज के साथ लड़ाई कर रहा है, क्यों लड़ाई कर रहा है? एक ही पैटर्न है, राइट? वहां पे नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज होंगे, कोई उसको दिख रहे हैं, उसको पता है कि मैं उस पर कर लूं सबसे पहले, दैट इज द मेन रीजन. बाकी कुछ भी रीजन हो सकते हैं, बट वही मेन अंडरलाइंग रीजन होता है. चाहे वेनेजुएला देख लीजिए, ईरान देख लीजिए, अफगानिस्तान देख लीजिए, ऑलमोस्ट ऑल द कंट्रीज, दिस इज द पैटर्न, राइट? नाउ हाउ कैन वी स्टार्ट डूइंग इट? आपको एज ए टीचर्स, you have to start thinking, what problem am I asking students to solve? Not just understand. Can students break it down into smaller solvable parts? मान लीजिए आप मैथ्स के टीचर हैं, कोई बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है, तो क्या वो उसको छोटा छोटा कर सकते हैं? Can they spot a pattern or a rule to discover? And can students build a step-by-step path to the answer? And to us also, to train us, AI can help. आप कोई भी चैप्टर, जब when you are teaching a chapter in the classroom, आप उसको कंप्यूटेशनल थिंकिंग के फंडामेंटल्स के हिसाब से उसको बोलो कि ब्रेक डाउन करो और मुझे एग्जांपल्स दो, गिव मी एग्जांपल्स टू आस्क. दिस इज हाउ वी आल्सो विल लर्न. See, you and I both were trained in a pre-AI era. We were trained by the teachers who were strict teachers. एक तरीके से पढ़ाया, लगभग वैसा ही हम पढ़ाने लगे. But now the things are changing and we should embrace the change and change ourselves also, right? So we can take help of AI and we can make the chapter more investigative, more interesting using the help of AI, and these foundations of CT we can apply in almost every chapter. So then once you start doing, there will be a lot of difference between the old classroom and the new classroom. ओल्ड क्लासरूम में होता था मैं पढ़ा रहा हूं तुम्हें सुनना है। न्यू क्लासरूम में है कि यू हैव टू थिंक। ओल्ड क्लासरूम वाज राइट आंसर वाज सक्सेस, न्यू क्लासरूम इज रीचिंग टू द राइट आंसर। जैसे मैंने आपको ट्रांसलेशन वाला एग्जांपल दिया, इज सक्सेस। द नंबर ऑफ स्विमिंग पूल इज नॉट सक्सेस, हाउ डू यू रीच टू दैट नंबर इज सक्सेस। ओल्ड क्लासरूम थिंकिंग वाज इनविजिबल, न्यू क्लासरूम यू हैव टू प्रमोट थिंकिंग। अगर मैं आपको सच बताऊं एज ए टीचर, इस तरह के बच्चे हमें ज्यादातर परेशान करते थे। मैं भी जब पढ़ाता था और कोई बच्चा, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल हमने एक मैथ का क्वेश्चन कराया एंड ही स्टार्टेड क्वेश्चनिंग, सर ऐसे क्यों नहीं हो सकता, तो वी स्टार्टेड गेटिंग इरिटेटेड। क्यों? क्योंकि क्लास का टाइम खराब कर रहा है। हम लोग क्या टाइम देख के चलते हैं कि आज मुझे इतना सिलेबस कराना है, अगर इसके क्वेश्चनों के चक्कर में पड़ गए तो सिलेबस हो नहीं पाएगा। बट अगर मैं आपको ऑनेस्टली बताऊं, इफ you encourage that thinking, that student will become a silent supporter, and वो क्लास को और आगे लेके जाएंगे। और हमें सारे स्कूल बच्चों को ऐसे ही मोटिवेट करना है। इन ओल्ड मॉडल देयर वाज वन मेथड फॉर ऑल, नाउ मल्टीपल paths will be welcomed in AI era. Memory was rewarded in old system, reasoning will be rewarded in new model। एंड आप देखिएगा बहुत जल्दी ये शिफ्ट आने वाला है। आप आजकल देखने लग गए होंगे छोटे छोटे बच्चे 20-20 साल के, 15-15 साल के स्टार्टअप्स बना रहे हैं। बिकॉज स्टार्टअप बनाने के जो इंजीनियरिंग टूल्स हैं वो आप मार्केट में अवेलेबल हैं। अब जिसके पास जितनी थिंकिंग है, जो जितना सोच सकता है, जिसको जो एक्सपोजर है, वो आगे बढ़ जाएगा। सो इफ ऑल ऑफ अस कैन पुश अवर स्टूडेंट्स टू थिंक, टू चैलेंज, टू फाइंड न्यू वेज, they will start enjoying the subject more. So as an action step in next class, instead of giving students the answer, give them a problem. If you cannot think of a problem, take help of AI to think of the problem, and then tell them, ask them how to start solving this. And आपको मैं एक बात बता रहा हूं बड़ी ईमानदारी से, I myself will also learn as a student ये सारे कंप्यूटेशनल थिंकिंग के फंडामेंटल्स इन कमिंग ईयर्स। मैं खुद भी सीखूंगा एग्रेसिवली। तो मैं आप लोगों से रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं कि आप लोगों को शर्माना नहीं है सीखने से। कई बार एज ए टीचर हमें वी फील शाई टू लर्न न्यू थिंग्स। फ्रेंड्स, दिस इज द टाइम वेयर somebody who can learn, unlearn, relearn will be rewarded। अगर आप ये सोच लें कि मैं तो बस सीख लिया, मेरा बीएड खत्म हुए, एमएससी किए हुए सालों हो गए, नहीं। दिस इज द टाइम वेयर यू हैव टू लर्न, अनलर्न, रीलर्न। दिस इज द फिलॉसफी हमें खुद भी अपनानी है और बच्चों को भी बतानी है। राइट? सो यू कैन स्टार्ट एटलीस्ट हर वीक में एक या दो बार चैलेंज योर स्टूडेंट्स ऑन दिस न्यू पैटर्न, so that they also start thinking, they also start embracing the computational thinking. We have to just not only ask what is the answer, we have to ask what was the process to reach to the answer. How can you explain it to your neighbor, your peer? When I was taking the coaching for IIT JEE, I got a very good rank only because of one reason. I stayed with my friend, and at that time my friend was not as good as in studies as I was, and मैं उसको हर दिन पढ़ाता था। जब मैं उसे पढ़ाता था तो मुझे पता लगता था कि ये तो मुझे नहीं आता। So there is a saying in English, if you can explain it to somebody else, it means you know it, right? And when some students are different, when they are different than others in terms of explaining things, you have to reward them. You have to tell them that you have made this beautiful answer, beautiful solution. You should always remember it and encourage them to come up with such solutions. And in that process, as a teacher, we also have to learn from them. If we can learn how to solve a problem in 5 different ways, I mean, that is the best use of your classroom time, right? So this is what we have to start doing. We have to journal their process. We have to tell them to explain to their peers. In this way, they get more confident. And also whatever they are doing, we need to have the evidence that, oh, this was done by you. 10 years from now, our students will work with the tools which are not even invented yet. I'll tell you, I'm married to a software engineer, and she works in one of the top AI companies in the world. She was among the toppers in IIT JEE entrance, has been doing the software engineering for last 15, 16 years. She also feels that in last 3 years, whatever she used to know before 2022, before the advent of chat GPT, etc., she has to renew her knowledge every single year. There are lots of tools, new methods, and the development time has reduced to not even like 1/10. जो चीज पहले 10 दिन में होती थी अब 1 दिन में होती है, right? Now, how can somebody like her or somebody like our students will be able to cope up in such an environment if they have the ability to think clearly, to break problems down and to adapt? अगर बच्चे अडेप्ट ही नहीं कर पाएंगे तो एआई बहुत आगे निकल जाएगा. जब कोई बोलता है ना कि एआई विल टेक ऑल द जॉब्स, वो ऑल द जॉब्स में वही लोग होते हैं जो अडेप्ट नहीं करते, जो लर्न रीलर्न नहीं करते. इसलिए we have to make sure that we tell them you should develop the ability to think clearly in all the subjects. This is what CBSE is also doing. So we in Codju, first of all, we are thankful to all of you. We are relatively new company, only 2.5-year-olds old company, and I'm very happy and very delighted to share that we are present in more than 10 states in the country, in 2 countries, with more than 220 schools, most of the schools currently seeing or attending the workshop. More than 1.25 lakh students enrolled with us. And this year we are even more excited because CBSE has also mandated something which was the main thesis behind why we started Codju. I was teaching students in last 16 years. मैं ये believe करता था कि not every student is made for IIT JEE and NEET. There has to be skills like computational thinking, tech skills, financial literacy बच्चों को सिखाए जाने चाहिए ताकि we can prepare students for the tomorrow's challenge. Now, because CBSE is also bringing the same, we are more excited. And I request you all that think of one lesson you are teaching next week. Where can we include that thinking moment? Where can we include the computational thinking? How can you make sure that students start thinking for that problem, not just memorizing the solution? And please share your answer. We would love to read it and reply to it. My team members are in constant touch with you guys. Please reach out to us. We can help you in providing the new tools and new content on computational thinking. We are also building 15-20 दिन 1 महीने तक हम भी तैयार कर लेंगे. We will automatically share with you. And also please tell all your fellow teachers that computational thinking is not about computers. It is about the courage to think. We all of us have everything to start. Your students are waiting for the teacher who believes in them, who believes in their thinking, and who is not irritated by new types of answers. एक बार मैं दोबारा से 1 सेकंड के लिए रिवाइज कराऊंगा, and that was the end of our session. So computational thinking has 4 parts. One is decomposition of a problem. Second is recognizing the pattern. Focusing on what is important is called abstraction, and step by steps solving. ठीक है, तो इसको आप DPAA बोल सकते हैं. D for decomposition, P for pattern recognition, A is abstraction, and A is algorithm. So ये वाली जो slide है, it takes care of everything. And I have also shown you some examples of great leaders of current world who are leaders because they had computational thinking in their heart, soul, and mind. And they applied that in their daily life and became the leaders they are now. So with that, I am very, very thankful for taking out time on a Saturday evening and attending the workshop. We are very excited that we are going to come up with at least one such workshop every month, more than that, special workshop in summers, and we will keep you updated for the same. In case you miss any updates, I request you to kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your one act of subscribing it will give us lots of motivation to work even hard and to bring out the best knowledge, technology, and resources to all of you. Thank you so much. The year has just started. I wish you the best in this academic year. See you in the next workshop. Thank you so much. Good evening.